Welcome into the Pursuit of Manliness podcast, where we are vigorously equipping men to pursue biblical manliness. My name is Jarrett Samuels. I'm the host of the podcast. Men, as always, I'd like to begin by thanking you for checking out today's show. Whether you're watching this on YouTube, listening to this wherever you grab your podcast audio content, thank you for checking it out. When you get the opportunity, visit thepursuitofmanliness.com. You can find this podcast episode, the whole catalog of 400 plus podcast episodes. You can see what's available in the gear store, learn more about our fall men's retreat, learn more about the herd, etc. I do want to remind you that the Wednesday podcast is sponsored by Loader Road Goods out of Coshocton, Ohio. Now, I'm going to be honest. I just looked up Loader Road Goods, clicked on the shop button, and now there's a cell phone holster there. Now, there was a period of time where I wore my phone on my belt, and there were some young guys that made fun of me. I got to tell you, it's massively convenient to have it on your belt. You call it a holster, that's a game changer. But that wasn't what I was planning on talking about. I recently got this guitar strap from Chris Kent from Loader Road Goods, and it is a fantastically made guitar strap. Now, here's the deal. I don't play guitar. So I've been giving these out to a couple people that I do know play guitar, and they love it. Well made. It's got the Loader Road Goods stamp on there. You put in the discount code, A Quiet Life, all capital letters, you'll save 15% off your order. Men, it's time for today's podcast episode. 1 Thessalonians 4, 11 and 12 says, "And aspire to live quietly, mind your own affairs, work with your hands as we instructed you, so that you may walk properly before outsiders and be dependent upon nobody." Now you say, why do you start with that text? Well, originally, that's what the Wednesday podcast was going to be about. How to live, lead, and aspire towards a quiet life. Somewhere along the way, I think I lost the focus of that a little bit. As I've said before, the original episodes were in the garage. And there's times I've done it out back on the deck. And truth be told, I'd probably prefer to do it those places, but you never know what kind of background you're going to get. Neighbors sump pump, dogs barking, boy dribbling a ball, helicopters flying over here like we're under attack or whatever. And so sometimes you say, well, that's not very quiet life of you. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I've said before, I make no qualms about it. We live within an HOA here, so there's a massive neighborhood. At least it's massive to me. I don't know what it'd be compared to you. We live in close connection to the church where I serve and the school where my kids go. And so that's kind of our route. We have kids involved in activities, sports, church stuff, whatever. A lot of good things going on. But if you're honest with your life, and I'm honest with my life, I am surrounded by a lot of noise, a lot of things, whether it's a calendar. As I was just talking a minute ago, my phone went off. We got a church message thing going on here. It'll probably go off again before we're out of here. Text messages. I pretty much, for everything on my phone, keep it do not disturb. Except for certain apps where I need to know what's going on. I have a calendar that I carry. I keep track of whatever's going on, whether it's POM stuff, church stuff, family stuff, whatever. And you do as well. You have stuff going on in your life as well. And you can see from the title, Midday Reprieve. I want to talk about something that I'm starting to get back to. Okay, I think I shared on a podcast, but on Mondays, or when there's a window of time, I have no problem watching an hour or so of like stealth camping videos, van camping videos, people going out somewhere and just camping, making food, kind of getting away, turning off the noise. And yeah, they record it and stuff. And I've done some of that and record it and things, because the way I view it is I want to bring people in on the story. I want to just say, hey, this is something I'm trying. This is something I'm doing. I've had people reach out, not a lot, but some people reach out and say, hey, what are you using on that? Where did you buy that thing? Where are you getting that thing? So it's about, hey, just something to think about. And I watch these videos, or I watch these people. I don't watch a lot of things on YouTube, but I do watch that. And I look at what they use. I look at what they're doing. I look at where they're going. I'll look at the food they're making. The setup, those things. And so I have my car. I can set it up to car camp just myself. I build a bed that goes back there. Or if my wife was with me or my son's with me, I bought a bed from REI that you could get 2 people on there. And I enjoy that. Enjoy trying to, going to a state park or wherever and doing that. The problem runs into is I don't have time. I honestly don't have a lot of time to do that. And the time I do have, there's a little wiggle room there, I feel as a husband or father that I'm running out of time with my kids especially. I feel like I don't know if it's the best use of my time to go away and go camping. And I could take them with me, not in the car. We'd have to do something different. And we do things different. But I don't know about you, but when I get like this urge or I want this focus or I get locked in on something, I get real unsettled. I can't scratch that itch. I told you a number of years ago when I just decided I'm going to learn how to start a proper fire in the backyard in the fire pit. I didn't know how to do it. I mean, you dump enough kerosene on something, you can get a fire going. But I wanted to do it in a proper way. So I went to YouTube and I just watched people do it. I don't know how many different ways. There's endless number of ways that you can do that, but I wanted to learn a few ways for myself that I knew if we wanted to have a little family fire in the back, I could get it done without emptying the gas can on it and do a proper fire. The same with camping, right? I want to learn these things. I want to get away. I want to have that reprieve. I want to hit reset, even make some food. Kind of my go-to food if I go camping or getting away is like a brat. No mess. It's real easy. I love a good, spicy, like Cajun brat. A couple of them over the fire. Always good to put that in your belly before you try to settle down for the night. But it's easy. I need buns and I need brats. That's it. That's all I need. I'm not a big cook. Whatever. My wife's with me. We're going to eat way better. I've done a few other things like that. I say that to get to this. I can't do that very often. As a matter of fact, I don't get to do that hardly at all. I shouldn't say get to. I choose not to do that hardly at all because there are other responsibilities that should take precedent. So as I was thinking about this the last number of days, weeks, wherever, I thought of this idea of why not just pull over in the middle of the day and have a reprieve, have a reset. I've done this in the past, and I'm getting back to it, where I would kind of set my car up where I had what I wanted in there so that when I had an opportunity to, let's say go to a local state park or pull over on the side of the road or go somewhere different that I normally would not go, I have everything that I want in there, so I'm good to go. And I'm working through that right now, and that's what I want to share on this episode of finding those windows of opportunity. While I'm recording this on this particular day, I have had 3 that I would call intentional reprieves in the last, what's that been, about a week. One of them at a state park, one of them at a coffee place, and one of them at the hospital near us in the parking garage. And the idea was on all of them is, I got food, I went to that place, I got away, I rolled the windows down, the weather was beautiful, rolled the windows down, I have my little tray that I use that hooks onto my steering wheel, I eat some food, I either start working through like my prayer journal, or I open my Bible up and start reading, or I'll read a book that I'm reading, or whatever. And I have just a window of time. It's not a large window of time, but it's a window of time that I have a bit of a mid-morning, midday reprieve. Now, I don't know what you do for a living. I don't know what your schedule is, or whatever. And I'm not saying you have to, turn your car into the Bear Grylls experience. But what I'm learning doing this, a couple things, is I really look forward to it, and when I do it, I feel better coming back. Even if it's 30 minutes, hour and a half, whatever amount of time that I've been able to do it, no matter what the amount of time so far, and even in the past where I did it in the fall, or I think I did it even before that a few times, when I've done these things, I feel so much better coming back. And I think that's part of something that's written on our DNA, that we're meant to be outdoors. We're meant to measure ourselves against the elements. I don't know what it is. I enjoy the colder elements outside than I enjoy the hotter ones. Fall, spring, they seem like they last around here about 7 days. But when it's cold out, I seem to do more of those things where I get outside and try to do that. Where I'll make breakfast on the Coleman stove, or whatever that you try to make those MRE type meals, or I was thinking I made like bacon and egg sandwich, or I call it breakfast hash. I don't know what you call it, but those things when it's colder out, man, it's just so much more fun. Or go outside in the evening and set up the little stove. What do you call it? A little butane stove, and then make coffee on it. Just 1 cup of coffee. That's it. But I went outside, did a little different. Takes more time. You have to think through it. It's not as quick and convenient as your coffee maker, your Keurig, or whatever. And then I go do it. So what I'm starting to do, and again, I don't know whether you guys care about this or not, I just feel like conversation I want to have with you, is I'm starting to set my car up again so that I have the proper things to kind of pull over and do that. I did buy window covers from, was it WeatherTech? Just because I didn't want to get in the business of trying to cut them and shape them. So I have window covers for the entire car. I do not put them on if I'm pulling over the side of the road just to sit in, and read. Now, I should say this too. Sometimes I'm in the front seat. Sometimes I hop in the back seat. Roll the windows down. I'm not trying to be a creepy guy, but roll the windows down. I can lay the seat down next to me. I can have a cooler there with my food or drinks or whatever I got in there, and I can work. So I got window covers in there. I have a camping chair that, man, you could use wherever. Sometimes I go get the camping chair out of the car when I'm at the church, and I'll just put, not on Sundays, but during the week, and I'll just set it up in the parking lot and just sit outside for a while. But when I'm there, I have a chair if I want to get out of the car and do whatever. I do have a camping table. I do not currently have that in the car right now, but you could use like a TV tray. If you want to make something, you don't want to sit on the ground, you could use picnic tables if they have them. But again, depending on where you're at, when I was at the hospital parking garage, they didn't have anything like that, and because security comes around so much there, I wasn't going to get out and make food anyway, so I brought and bought food with me. So you can do that. So I have a chair in there, and then I have this box I bought on Amazon. It wasn't expensive, but it just goes in the back, and it's got these 3 dividers, and I got water in there. I got my camping stuff or cooking stuff, I should say, in there. I got a couple things to start a fire. I got a hatchet. I got a Scripto lighter. I don't think I have any hot hands. I'll do that in the winter time. But basically, I try to think, what do I need? I got a cooking pan in there. I got plates. Like if you go to the store, like you go to Taco Bell, for example. I know Taco Bell has it, or some other places. And they have that pre-wrapped like forks and knives and things. Take a few extra, throw them in the back. Then you always have them. So you're there. You're going to pull over. You're going to eat. You don't have to go, shoot, forgot a fork, forgot a spoon. No, you already have it. You already got it in there. Of course, I'm fully staffed with the napkins from those places. So I had to drive through McDonald's yesterday to try to get to my kids' soccer game real quick. They give you a wad of napkins. I didn't need them. Take them, put them in my car. I got napkins when I need it. So the idea is I'm trying to stock my car appropriately for those times where I'm going to pull a midday reprieve. Now my car is still used for family stuff from time to time. It's not the primary car for that. But like last night, I need to move some things around, so I put them all in the back, and then I have kids I can sit in there for the youth group and things. So that's in there. I'm trying to think what else is in there. I have a portable power source. Well, it's not necessarily a generator, but it's one that you can plug into a wall, and you can plug your computer in, you can plug your phone in, you can plug some other devices into it if you want. You plug it into the wall, man, it is a great power source, like if your power ever goes out in your house. But if I'm somewhere and let's say I want to work on something from the church, and my computer battery is terrible. So I can plug it into that power source, which is in the back of the car. There's actually a perfect slot in my car that it just sits right in there. And I can plug the computer in there. I can sit in the back seat. I can work from there, and I can have full power wherever I'm at. With my phone, if I want to turn it into a hotspot, I could. If I want to use Wi-Fi, I typically don't do that. There's a reason why I'm trying to get away. But if you are getting away and you want to work and you want to change like kind of the scenery, man, that's a great opportunity to do that. And again, something else I typically do is I'll eat food or whatever. So there are times, like right now, I have a very small cooler in the back of my car. As it gets hotter out, the weather gets a little bit worse, then I will up that cooler. I have over time purchased 2 different Yeti coolers. They do a fine job. I'm sure there's other coolers that do a great job. They're army green. I like the colors, and one of them I got for Father's Day. So so I'll put maybe one of those in the car. So if I want to keep like drinks or stuff in there long term. But again, I'm not doing overnight stuff. What I'm saying is I'm trying to plan, okay, today's Monday, and I know for my lunch hour, instead of going down to the break room, I don't have a break room, but instead of going down to the break room, or instead of driving through somewhere to get lunch, or how long does it really take you to eat a sandwich? It doesn't take you long. But if I can take that time and I can drive somewhere, again, it could be a local park, wherever, and you can do that where you can kind of get a reprieve, like, without being a weirdo, for me, it really does change me. Now, the whole power source, that whatever you call that, portable power source, I do plan on changing that in the near future, and I've been wanting to change that for a long time. And I want to get one that you have more power, but also has a solar panel to it. Solar panel may be overkill if you're just trying to get away for lunch to have a bit of reprieve. However, if you set, depending on what you do, where you work, wherever, you might set that up, in the morning to get some energy and get it plugged in, whatever, before you go. I don't know what you're doing. If you're going to get real fancy when you cook and you might need a blender or whatever, hey, those things can do it. But what I want to do is I want to start out with a cheaper power source to see if I would use it and see how practical it is. And it's been perfect. It's been everything that I needed it to be. So for me, it comes down to, okay, we're going to get away. Okay, where are we going? What are we going to do while we're there? Again, I don't have a tremendous amount of time. Whether I go in the morning or whether I go in the afternoon, I don't think I've gone anywhere in the evening. What I realize is you're kind of taking your vehicle and you're making it this kind of like smaller version of an RV. And there's something about me sitting in that front seat or sitting in the back seat again with my seat down, and I have like an organizer that hangs on the back of a seat. I got the medical kit and different things. Having everything I need right there, and yet I get away. I don't have time to go on a camping trip. I don't have time to go on a hiking trip. I don't have time to go plan a great excursion. I've been blessed to be a husband and father and a pastor and all those other things, but I do have a window of time that I can have a bit of a midday reprieve, and it is a incredible mental reset. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about, and some of you guys think I'm strange. I'm good either way. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know it really does kind of refocus you for just a bit, because we're so surrounded by noise and things competing for our attention. Whether it's good things or not good things. Things are constantly competing for our attention. So if I can get away and say, my plan is today when I go there, I'm going through my prayer journal, or I'm going to read, 1 Kings, or, I need to get some notes together for a talk I'm going to have with the men's group, or just sit quietly. There's times where I, have just sat there for a minute and just kind of watch people watch, or watch the birds, or wherever you're at. Obviously, your scenery is going to be different, but here's what I found. The very first time I ever did this was many years ago. There was supposed to be a staff meeting. I was going to lead the staff meeting, and I just knew the way things were going that day, that week. It would not have been well for me or for the staff. This is probably 8 years ago, and so I canceled the staff meeting. I don't recall the reason I gave. I just said, we're not going to meet today. And I got in my car and I drove to a Starbucks, and I did not want to go in. I didn't want to go in the Starbucks. I didn't want to be in there. Not a big coffee shop culture guy. I love coffee. I don't like being in there. I'll go in there to order and get it out of there, but nevertheless. And I sat in the back of my ride that day, and I started to work on, I think it was a blog post, ironically, and I thought, I kind of dig this setup. It felt like the environment had changed. It felt like I could think a little different because I wasn't in the driver's seat. I wasn't driving nowhere. I wasn't sitting there with the car idling. I was sitting in the back, car running, just me, thinking through some stuff. And since then, I've began to do that more and more. And in the last year or so, I've really tried to set my car up so that at any point, I could just make a cup of coffee if I wanted to, or have a snack, or make lunch, or whatever the things are, go for a walk, whatever. I got Thermacell, you can do that. And so looking at what can I do next? What's the next thing? Basically what I'm doing is I'm creating these mini little reprieves in windows of time that I would already been doing something that was kind of just a me time anyways, and I'm getting a reset. Those three, I don't remember if I said it or not, were the first one was at a state park. The second one was at outside of a coffee shop. I had bought coffee, sat out there for a while in a really busy area, but still it feels like you're kind of in your own space. And the third so far has been in a hospital parking garage just for a while. When the garage got busy, I took off, so I didn't want to take one spot or anything. But what I'm finding is I don't know if the location matters as much as the intentionality. And if we can create some of those mid-morning, midday, maybe mid-evening reprieves, I don't know. I just wonder if it doesn't change our thought process just a little bit. Something to think about. I'm not putting a lot of those types of things right now. That might probably change down the road. Right now on the Pursuit of Manliness stuff, and I don't promote my own account, but on Instagram, my name is Quiet Life Living. If you want to go on there, I'm starting to post more of that stuff just to share, hey, this is what I'm doing. Maybe it's something to consider. If you got anything you're doing for a mid-morning, midday, mid-evening, whatever, reprieve, man, I'd love to hear it. Man, thank you for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Let's keep pursuing biblical manliness.